again, friends. Hopefully you've been enjoying our 2025 Camp View Northern Tour. We've seen some history, plenty of amazing mountain views, and deep forests. But it's time to put some distance behind us on our way back home to Arizona, and the landscape is about to start changing. Well, I stepped away from the campground back there. I got everything packed in the truck. Only thing left to pack in there is me. Oh, and you. So we're gonna actually leave. This was my second night at Gros Ventre Campground, so now we're packed up. Gonna head into Idaho. One last time as I'm slowly making my way home. I think we've got 6 days or 5 days left of videos to make. But man, the days are counting down and I'm still feeling strong and I'm feeling great. But this campground was wonderful. I had a great time. Everything went very well. Didn't have any issues. I did have a neighbor again last night in the neighboring site, some lady that showed up late. And she was gone like at 5:30 in a van. So never even heard from her. It's very quiet. Everybody is well behaved. I commend everyone here. It was superb. I have nothing but good things to say about Gros Ventre Campground and the Grand Teton experience. Sometimes I wonder if I've got a little bit of a kind of an obsessive thing going on. In that, like, I always have to like triple, quadruple check stuff, like the tailgate. I always like close it. I know it's closed, but then it's like every time I'm getting ready to leave, I'll start the truck. I'm like, I'm gonna go check one more time. I'm always paranoid I'm gonna forget something, so I walk the campsite multiple times. Never have really forgotten anything before, so maybe that's why. Anyway, let's get on out, and we'll catch up. Tell you how yesterday, what I ended up doing after our road trip, our off-roading trip yesterday, dirt roading trip. Some people don't like when I use the word off-road when I refer to driving dirt roads. Don't get mad at me, man. I didn't make up the term. I think it's just generically used for dirt road driving. Like, why do they call it Onyx off-road? I mean, come on. Some people are just, I guess you're a purist. And I get what you mean, right? Off-road probably insinuates there is no road. I get it. If you haven't seen that though, I went driving off into the national forest here behind, like in front of Grand Teton, found some really cool spots to get great views of the mountains. All to myself, nobody out there. Well, there was a couple people, but virtually nobody out there. So most of the time I was alone, and anytime I got out of the truck, there was nobody around. So didn't see any grizzly bears again though. I guess we're gonna have to save that for a future trip because we're probably leaving grizzly bear country as of this morning. I don't think they have them in southern Idaho, do they? Maybe they do. So the plan is pretty loose today, but it's a lot of driving. The route takes us straight through Jackson, the town. You'll get to see some of Jackson Hole, the valley. As we drive, it's very pretty. A little overcast this morning, but I love the area like leading into Jackson. Show you a little bit of Jackson, I guess. I've never set foot in Jackson other than going to their Albertsons, which is a grocery store chain they have out here. Drove in there the other night to get more supplies. I may opt to drop by, I'm thinking maybe Mac and Don Steakhouse, which is what they call McDonald's in Jackson. They probably do. I think there's a lot of money here, isn't there? So yeah, I might stop by Mac and Don Steakhouse for some breakfast and my coffee today. I've been reviewing gas station coffees. I've just given up on saying I'm gonna make coffee. There may be one or two times in the next few days where I'm gonna need to, because there may not be other options for me. But anyway, we are almost off of Gros Ventre Road and about to go through a roundabout down to Jackson. welcome to Jackson, Wyoming, we're here. There's the DQ greeting you as you come in. Like when I was younger, maybe even in my 20s, I would have been very impressed with a town like this. And there's nothing wrong with it. It seems like it could be an amazing town. I've never tried skiing before, but I'm guessing like this probably would be a mecca for some. But like all the fancy restaurants and motels, hotels, I used to think that's what life was all about for me, was working hard, killing myself just to save up enough to go spend a few days a year in some expensive, nice place, eat a couple nice meals or something, and then I was never happy though. And as I got older, I just realized like stuff like this, it just doesn't impress me much anymore at all. Like, I like architecture, I like buildings, and there's some cool looking ones in here, but just not really impressed. I don't get anything out of it anymore.
1,000 feet, turn right onto US 191 South, US 26 West.
Sitting in a campground in the afternoon after a hard day's work, waking up at, you know, before sunrise, even though like doing off-roading and stuff is, you know, it's fun. It's work too to do all the setup that I have. Don't even kid yourself. Maybe not great paying work, but it's work. But there's nothing like doing that and then just sitting in a quiet campground in the afternoon and listening to the birds. It's like the best thing in life. It's like the most relaxing thing. The simple things.
US 26 West.
You know, I was kind of like, I plotted a route to my ultimate destination, Castle Rock State Park, and forgot that I wanted to go to Macandon Steakhouse. And I'm like, so I abruptly pulled over thinking I overshot it and passed it. So I'm doing Google Maps, like, where's this dang McDonald's at? And it's right here. Like, I gotta get in behind this guy. But basically, it's right across the street. So I have some sixth sense, I guess, of where McDonald's are. I will have the Warren Buffett special this morning. I think I read that he goes to McDonald's like almost, or he used to go to McDonald's like for breakfast every day, didn't he? For like an Egg McMuffin. Ooh, they have a steak, egg, and cheese bagel. That's new. I've never heard of that. Anyway, you don't need to watch this part. I'm gonna get my food on, get out of town, and then we'll catch up on the road. I am curious though about like what this drive is gonna be like, because essentially I think we're going behind the Grand Tetons in a way, like cutting the southern edge of them, so I don't know if we're gonna see them at all from the other side or what they even would look like. But like straight ahead basically is kind of where there they are. I can kind of see their peaks from this side, already covered in clouds on the top. Okay. I wonder on the west side of them, we'll get a view. What is this road gonna do? Are we gonna go up? Are we just gonna go around it? It's a surprise, because I don't know. I've never gone this way. Well, I guess I'm gonna stop talking and start eating, and I'm gonna put food into my Jackson hole. My Jackson hole. That didn't sound very good. And drink some coffee, get all wired up and caffeinated, and then we'll chat. No sooner than I started shoving food in my face, we turned a corner, and there's the answer to my question. The Grand Tetons, straight ahead. I think that's Teton, the big one, isn't it? my God, look at that. We're going way up there. My ears are popping. Oh, man. This truck is like chugging, man. Come on, Slim. Use that V6. Poor truck has been working hard. We both have been working hard. Man. I would say the drive is exceeding expectations thus far. I wasn't expecting all of this. Quite a beautiful way to start off the day, I would say. I haven't even had a sip of my coffee yet. Who needs coffee when you got this kind of road? Like, this is actually giving me that same, like, feeling like a caffeine buzz driving down this thing. This is the Teton Pass Highway, by the way, is what my Google Maps says this is called, and we've got about 10 miles to go before we get off of this onto something called 31, Route 31. I had food like shoved in my mouth, like full on. My ears are still popping, we're still going down. But yeah, I had food stuffed in my mouth and we passed the state line into Idaho, so I couldn't start recording fast enough. And my Google map doesn't have a lot of detail on it at the moment, so we're out of Wyoming. We're now officially in Idaho, which is where the rest of today's episode will occur if my ears survive. And we have, I don't know, 3 hours and 34 minutes to go before we arrive at Castle Rock State Park. At this point, we've been on the road for, I don't know, almost an hour now. Wow. Time's going by fast when you're having fun. So yeah, leaving Wyoming is kind of a poignant moment to me because it represents the states that are really hard for me to get to from Arizona. Like when I am like you guys, when I'm working a full-time job, am employed by somebody else and have limited vacation time, and often, like, you know, usually like the most I ever take off is a week at a time. I have had a week off and came up to Teton and Yellowstone, and that was a tall order to do in a week, to be honest. That was a pretty much a whirlwind tour. But to go to Glacier, and I would even include Teton, it's not easy. So the fact that I focused on those, got them done, was I think a very strategic move. And then leaving Wyoming into Idaho just kind of sealed the deal somehow. It just kind of closed the door on it. It's like I did it. I feel great about it. Mission accomplished so far. Pat on the back to Slim. Pat on the back to you guys for hanging with me this long. And even though we still have a goodly amount of work to do, and one more national park before this is all said and done, nothing will be as complicated as what's behind us now in the rear view mirror. It's like, yes.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto Idaho 31 West,
all right.
Center Street.
I think it's that light up there is West Center Street, Idaho 31. What town is this anyway? I didn't see any signs or haven't studied maps carefully. Some town in Idaho. All right.
Continue on Idaho 31 west for 21 miles.
Whoa, dude. I'm gonna kill somebody before today's over. That guy had no fear. He's just like, dum-de-dum-de-dum. I hate my job. Someone just run over me, I guess. Let's get out of the dang city. It's funny how I'm calling this a city, but compared to where I've been, it feels like the city, and people drive like it's the city. Oh, I almost forgot. One important thing to do is just to keep with the tradition. I don't know if I did this on every single day or not. I have to go back and look at the footage, but we have to have our coffee sip and talk about it. Although this is McDonald's coffee, which I would say is very consistent. It rarely tastes different between McDonald's across the country when I get it. So that's one thing McDonald's does well, I guess, is consistency, but I've told you it's not my favorite. Still hot. Tastes like McDonald's coffee. And true to McDonald's coffee, it's all right. McDonald's is it's just not that pungent. It doesn't have a lot of flavor for me. Not my favorite, but it's okay. So I would just put it in the average. And I could say the Jackson, Wyoming McDonald's, it's par for the course for McDonald's, so they're not doing it any better or worse. That's a good comment. Let me know if you like what you guys think about McCafe. Is it good coffee, meh coffee, mer coffee? Like, what kind of coffee is it for you? All right, I think what I'm gonna do now that we've had our coffee talk, I'm gonna, like I've done on other road trips that are longer days like this, I think I might, when I get a chance, I might just take the GoPro off the roof, because I'm back in the land of bugs again. Like, for whatever reason, southern Montana, southwestern Montana, I should say, and Idaho, probably because all the farmland and stuff, I've never had an issue before with bug splatter on the GoPro. It never seems to get up that high. But here, oh my gosh, it's bugs galore. It is beautiful out here though, and I want to keep filming, but I need to conserve. I've already gone through half of what I have left on one of my SD cards just this morning. I filmed already a half an hour's worth of material. I guess when you're just talking about nonsense and rolling the camera constantly, it's easy to do. All right, see you in a little bit. Alright, we're now out past the really tall mountains, out into these more rolling mountains in eastern Idaho. And it's beautiful. Really beautiful. Idaho, I've said it on other episodes, it really, I'd say out of any state on this trip that I've been to, I didn't have like low expectations of it. I just wasn't expecting to be as enamored with it as I ended up being. I was picturing a lot of farms. I think my vision was kind of like this landscape you see before you, minus the mountains. I think that's what I had a misrepresentation in my mind as to what it would look like. I thought it would just be hilly, but not like bordered by really big mountains and pine trees and all that. And I've surmised that I think I may have gotten that like just stupidly, like through things like Napoleon Dynamite, that movie. I've surmised on this before and I haven't seen it in years, but I don't recall like their setting having like lots of big mountains. It was more like these yellow grassy hills. And I'm wondering if it's because, you know, I was at the Napoleon Dynamite house earlier on in this trip where they filmed the movie, and the surrounding area, there were some pretty big mountains in the background, and I just don't remember that from the movie for some reason. And I wonder if it's because the lens they used in those scenes didn't convey the scales, or it's just my memory not working right. I don't know, but I haven't gone through the whole state of Idaho, but it's spectacular. Look at this. Noisy out here, but I had to come and stretch my legs for a minute. And I'm like surrounded by an ocean of farmland, this yellow grass. It almost looks like sand, like an endless desert, doesn't it? I found it really striking and beautiful, so I just wanted to get out for a couple minutes and stretch my legs and check this out. It's all around here, like on all sides. What is that anyway? Is that wheat or something like that? All right, back to the truck. It's kind of noisy out here though with all the speeding traffic going by. We're probably nearing the end of this sea of farmland. But I don't know why I'm digging this so much, but I am. See, this is what I thought Idaho would be like this yellow colored grass or wheat or whatever it is. I don't know. I'm ignorant there. Without the mountains. I just thought it was going to be exactly what you see in front of you without mountains in the background. I really didn't study the map very hard on this one to really understand exactly what I'm driving through or where I'm going. But I just saw signs, we're heading towards Idaho Falls again. It's only 27 miles away from Idaho Falls. So we're getting back in the same territory I've already been in temporarily. I know we're gonna go to a slightly different region, but we've crossed the Snake River on this journey now, followed the Snake River for a while. The Snake River has really been a centerpiece for like over a week. It's everywhere we've been. There's a sign for a scenic overlook in about a mile. So if there's a good place to pull over, I'm going to, because I need to change out batteries at this point on some GoPros, and I could use more of a leg stretch than the little area that I pulled off earlier. I don't know if I was technically even supposed to. It said no parking. I mean, I didn't park really, but ooh, the Snake River's down below too. We're not that far. Like, we have to pass Idaho Falls, but Massacre Rock State Park, another place I stayed at. I fished the waters. I fished the Snake River in multiple places, one of them being Massacre Rocks downstream of here. Quite a little ways to go. You'd have to go past Idaho Falls and follow the river further, but I'm gonna go down here where there's nobody at. Check out these views first. And we'll pay homage to the Snake River, like the mighty Snake River. I don't think a river has been so featured on this channel as the Snake River at this point. We've driven over it countless times. We've stood on its banks. We've fished it. We swatted a bird on accident and nursed it back to health on the banks of the Snake River. I mean, I've done it all. I've done it all. I do think it's so important though on these drives to stop frequently and stretch and move around. Something I need to, even as a software developer, have to do more like at home, just not sit all day. That's what causes the pain. That's what causes the soreness, is just sitting and not moving around. So it's nice to get out and breathe a little bit. And I'm not in a rush. Got a nice pace going today. It's such a spectacular river, and it passes through some of the most beautiful places you've ever seen. It's starting to resemble, though, like the Massacre Rocks kind of look. Kinda. It looks like there's some volcanic rock that it cuts through. which is where I'm getting that from, but the mountains around it are a little taller than over at Massacre Rocks, but it's just such an alive, like this whole region just feels so alive to me. And maybe it's because I am a desert dweller, and the desert is full of life too, but this is a different vibe, a different feeling. The force is strong here. I guess that's maybe a good way to put it, is there's just such a strong life force, you know, and you got all these creatures, apex predators, extremes, I think. I would like to maybe experience a taste of winter in these regions. Just dip my toes into it, not live in it, but dip my toes into it, I think. Ooh, look at these berries. What are those? Anybody know? Probably poisonous to people, I would guess. But they look so appetizing and delicious. Here's the view. This is the best view from down here for sure. And the waters are so clean and crystal clear. I just think of the human history in this area, like the indigenous people that would have first set eyes on these landscapes and that lived in it, lived in harmony with it. I almost fantasize or romanticize and know there would be really hard struggles and horrors that we in modern times don't have to contend with, but living the life that like those indigenous people lived and early settlers just seems like every day would be an adventure, I think. And I think because of that, you probably wouldn't fear as much or dwell or stress over worrying about things, because you're just having to get by day. But in beautiful areas like this, hunting and gathering and fishing and toiling and working hard, but probably sleeping, I bet you those people slept better than modern people do. You know, on this trip, I've been sleeping the best sleep, the most uninterrupted sleep that I've slept in years that I can think of, because I usually have a desk job. I'm a software developer. You kind of get caught up in the daily stresses and things like that, and you get into these cycles where you don't sleep well, so then you supplement it, you counteract it with caffeine and sugar, soda, and all this kind of stuff, and start this really unhealthy life. And it just catches up, and like it accumulates over time, and it's not good for you. And on this trip, being away from technology, not being able to connect, being forced to move constantly, having to break down my camp every morning, set it up, but not just for a few days, for weeks. I think that's why I'm kind of relating to maybe the people of old, in that, you know, I've lived simply. I don't have all of the stuff that I have at home, all the video games, movies, Netflix, want to order a pizza whenever I want. You know, I don't have any of that, and I don't miss any of it at all. I feel the best I felt, the happiest I felt, the most clear-headed I felt, and the most hopeful I felt in a long time. But it's almost a little stressful thinking about going back to having to go back to that lifestyle. And then wondering at what point do you get sucked back in? Like, can you keep your head straight and remember what's important? And if you can't be in the outdoors, you know, through exercise perhaps, and whatever you do, eating right, can you emulate that? I think you can. I think that's why a lot of people work out, de-stress. But it's like, I need to bring that. If I bring home any lessons, if I bring home anything with me on this trip, it's got to be this whole thing that I have rediscovered, right? It's not like I'm just learning this now, but it's like a rediscovery within me that this exists. You can live in a clear way and not be stressed out all the time. And I honestly do think going through like a cancer thing, you know, the treatment, if anybody's been through it, you've known people that you've loved, watched them go through it, live or die, you know, there's still a process that everyone goes through to try to counteract it, to cure it, to put it in remission, whatever, and the toll the treatments take on the body. it changes you. It mentally changes you. Probably everybody in some way, but for me, pretty profoundly, I'm finding. But in a very positive, good way. And this has just recharged me and then blew that whatever into my heart. Like it just, it's something that tells me it's all gonna be good. It's all gonna be good. I'm ready. That's what this trip has given me or shown me, is that I'm ready, I'm healthy, and there's a lot to be thankful for and live for. Whoa. That was getting kind of deep. Not really. I was just kind of ad-libbing there a bit, but no, I mean it all. I really do. It's just, this trip is exactly what I needed. You know, just put Camp View, put all the business stuff aside, the Cactus Atlas stuff aside, just this experience alone. If I didn't film any of it and I just went out for myself, I don't know, but like if you're going through some hard times with this and it looks like you're gonna pull through, or you're healthy enough, whatever the outcome is gonna be, if you're healthy enough after you go through the hell of treatment, I couldn't recommend enough, if you can afford, if you can do it. You can do it cheaply, believe me. Do something like this. Get out. Force yourself a little bit. You probably, just like me, I was nervous before this trip. I was, honest to God, nervous. I was telling Amy, I'd never been nervous before a trip. It's always been excitement, like a vacation feeling, and I was dreading it, wondering, could I do it? And I'm here to tell you, you can. And then it just, the human body is amazing. And once you start using it, once you get out there and do it, everything changes. So keep that in mind. I know some of you have commented you're going through similar things that I went through, and I'm here to give you hope. Even if, in my situation, even if the news was more grim, if I still had time, if I still had some life to live, I even in those more dire situations, I think this kind of thing would be right on. Like this would be exactly what I would need to find peace, to feel better. I know not everybody can get to that point, but if you can, maybe consider this. Maybe look at this as an example. It can be done, and life does get better. All right. We're leaving what we'll call, I don't know the name of this overlook. We'll call it Reflection Point, because I reflected on a lot of things here. And the trip's not even done yet. I'm talking like I'm doing some kind of like final summary, like, yeah, but we still got a lot more to do. But yeah, every day I feel better. That's the irony, like for me. In the past, I would have been dragging by now. Just like on many trips, I would cut the trip short and go home a day or two because I was so worn out. And the opposite is happening here. I'm more energized and inspired each and every day. And that's how I know, like, what I'm saying is not BS. Like, I'm not lying to myself. I found something that I will take home with me that will remain. All right, I feel like we're definitely nearing familiar territory again that we've already filmed. So and now kind of the mountain scenery is going away. Now it's turning into the Idaho so here's a really good representation. You really probably can't see any mountains. They're so far away and hazy. I thought this was gonna be Idaho, like a slightly hillier version of the Midwest that I came from originally. Like something you might see in Missouri with a little bit more hilliness to it. Like this is like what I pictured Napoleon Dynamite's world to be, like right here, this very spot. But it's not. Usually it's not. This is kind of a weird spot actually, the flattest spot in Idaho. But anyway, I'm gonna truly, we got 2 hours and 40 minutes left. This battery, I didn't change it earlier, it's almost dead. This SD card's almost out of space. So we're gonna go into conservation mode, not refilm familiar landscapes that we've been through. And then once we get down to new territory. We're gonna have a lot more to do, a lot more playtime together today. Hello again. Well, for me it's been an hour or two. I'm here in a small town in Idaho called, I think, Malta, something like that. And just got gas. Haven't seen a gas station in a while.
East for 1.5 miles.
What are you talking about? I thought I turned right over here, lady. What the heck? I kind of just blew through and got gas. So I got a full tank now, but I was starting to worry. I was like, maybe I should have filled up farther back. I haven't seen gas in a long time, but it's beautiful out here still in Idaho. Southern Idaho, we're getting close. I think we'll be going into Utah tomorrow, then Nevada tomorrow. So 2 states when I leave, heading down to, I think tomorrow's Great Basin National Park. The other national park I keep alluding to. But anyway, we'll talk a little bit as we approach our destination here. And I want to save footage for when I arrive and get my first eyes on the campsite so you can see my reaction as usual. This is one of those places where the wind is making the noise, like howling a little bit, like awesome. Sometimes you just have to stop in the middle of nowhere and listen to the wind. I mean, I can walk right down the middle of the road out here with no concerns. There's a historic marker here that I wanted to at least, I've been passing by a lot of these things on the drive, and I want to take more time and see them, so we're doing good on time, so I figured we'd see what this is all about. It's pretty cool, actually. So basically what this is all about is a shortcut that the 49ers, 1849, the people rushing out to California for the gold rush, came out of the hills to the east and joined the old California Trail just about right here where we're at, thinking it was a shortcut that saved that saved hundreds of miles over the old way near the Snake River. I'm assuming they mean the Oregon Trail, which we saw at Massacre Rocks. But yeah, so just think of that, 1849 and the gold rush and people traveling through this region with hopes and dreams and of striking it rich. Would have been an exciting time, an adventurous time, a scary time, but a time I would have liked to have experienced, I think. It's very breezy out here, but it feels good on my back. And you can just see the farmland of Idaho stretching on and on and on. Southern Idaho. And mountains. So things are starting to look more deserty, aren't they? As we return home south, as well they should. We're not going to be terribly far from Utah, Nevada pretty soon. It's where we're heading tomorrow. It's the sign that's making the howling. Can you hear it? Just such a cool, for me it's just a cool moment just to be out here and seeing this expansive space, thinking about the 49ers of old, travelers west in wagons, and hearing that howling sound where otherwise there would be no sound. My favorite moments. And Slim is still doing great. He's got a full belly of gas, like I just said. So I think let's just continue. We're making good progress. Let's not stop now. Look at all those bug splatters. You know, after being in these really heavily populated national parks, Yellowstone, Glacier, Grand Teton, this is a refreshing change of pace, traffic-wise. That was the easiest spot that I've had to merge back onto a main road that I've done in a week or more. Is it another historic marker? Where's the sign at? Historical site. You know what? Why not? If you're gonna have them that close together, I think it's worth the look. It's probably related to the first thing, I'm guessing, the 49ers or travelers of old. We'll pay them homage.
Head east on East
And
1700
think about them
South
here.
Cassia Creek Road toward 1900 East Road.
I'm sorry,
South
I know
1907
I'm stressing you out,
In
Google.
800 feet, turn left onto 1900 East Road,
I know.
South 1907 East.
Be patient. It's gonna be okay. the quick summary is it's talking more about the various trails, like the Oregon Trail and this trail that came through the Raft River Valley where we're at now. And so some of the same thing we just kind of saw at that other marker, it's giving you a little bit more information about that, you know, going all the way back to the indigenous people that liked to hunt in this valley because apparently the snow didn't stick so much down here, maybe because it's at a lower elevation, and there's lots of water and animals that would live down here, so good hunting grounds. And then later, as trappers came through this area and started forging trails, you had people heading westward for the gold rush. It talks about the Mormon battalion passing through this way and making a wagon trail route down to Salt Lake City. So this seems to have been like a kind of a hub of sorts back in those days out in this beautiful country here. So, and going back before settlers coming from the east. Just a place of human activity, which at first glance you would say in this very expansive space with lots of brown and, you know, where's all the life at stuff? Oh, it's here, trust me. Some of these places are deceiving. And today you can see it seems like fertile farmlands dot the valley down here. As of much of this like southeast area of Idaho I'm finding. So yeah, just think of all the thousands of years if you want to go back to the, you know, indigenous native folks that were out here making a living, getting by, and then the European history, the settlers that would pass through, hundreds of years of all of this to lead to this moment for some guy making a freaking YouTube video and driving now a gas-powered, fossil fuel-powered vehicle. It's pretty amazing when you think of the whole span of it all to get to moments like this, and then the moments that are yet to come. The moments when I am dead and gone, hundreds of years from now, what will be here? Will this sign still be here? Will there be new signs talking about YouTubers passing through here, going to state parks and national parks and recreating? You know, what will it say 200 years from now? I'm curious. You know, nothing lasts forever. The sign won't last forever. Will someone think to take care of it? Will we care anymore the further out we go? What will it be? I don't know. It's kind of a cool thought. But one thing that won't change much in that amount of time, in hundreds of years, is this landscape. That will probably look the same. Although it's been a very welcome and refreshing change of pace to go up into the pine forests and mountains of Montana and Wyoming, the Grand Teton area, all these places we've been. It is kind of nice to start seeing the drier climes again, the expansive landscapes that go for miles and miles and miles, and you know, a hint of things to come. Now, I'm not really looking forward to going back to Phoenix and that kind of heat where I gotta go. That's a little extreme, but there's something in my heart that feels at home in these kinds of landscapes, for sure. It's just beautiful. In Idaho, as I'm learning now, just driving through it, is so varied. You know, the environments, just the small slivers that I've been through. I haven't been through a huge section of the state yet. There's so much left to explore, but they seem to have it all here. Should be really close now. I just don't know where to go, because I guess when I did Castle Rock State Park, there's a section over there, but then there's a sign saying the campground and stuff is this way. So Google is taking me to a different section, so I don't know. We'll have to understand the layout of this park here shortly, but we're almost there. We're basically there, I think. I'm now just looking for signs, because they do have the brown signs that direct you where to go. So shouldn't be able to get too lost, I don't think. There's City of Rocks, but I need Castle Rock. So what does this say? Campground. Not here. I'm so confused now. I am very confused. I need to pull over and figure this out, man. This is not, now it says it's this way. What the hell? They really have some very confusing signage here, just so you know. Like, it's doesn't make any sense. Smoky Mountain Campground, is that where I'm staying? Let me look this up. All right, I am in Smoky Mountain Campground, site number 13. So it should be right here, like so, but it's just so confusing because there's all these signs for City of Rocks. Castle Rocks is back a ways. So I don't know what is what. Like once you get out here, it all falls apart a little bit. All right, so I'm trying to figure this out here. So there's a visitor center, but it said City of Rocks. There was an area, I think, where probably the main draw is in this park, way back. It's just very confusing. I guess the campground is set a ways from the actual park proper, is my best guess. I've got like 40 seconds left of footage here. So I'm looking for site 13. So I'm glad it's up here in the juniper trees or the pinyon pines, so there's maybe some shade. But counting down the seconds here. 13. This is it. According to my paperwork. I think the thing just ended on top of the roof, so. All right, this must be my home. The first things that I noticed here that I like are the smell. You smell like the piney smell of these trees. It's smelling more like home, more familiar. Then the wind rushing through them, it's just that, it's all I hear is, let's see, is that, there's like, oh yeah, so there's they actually have a card here and it has my name on it. So, good through 8-9, today is 8-8. So we're good. So this is definitely me. Now the only thing I have a question on now is where the heck do I put my tent? Because these sites, some campgrounds really favor the RVers. You know, you got an electric hookup here. So when I book it, I always filter by tent. So I'm not gonna book a site that's not ideal for this, but you could see sometimes you get these situations where, you know, this is clearly for an RV. You got your electric hookup, you got some water here. That's awesome if you're in a rig, but if you're in a tent, like where am I supposed to pitch my tent? Well, I could move this table off to the corner. Probably, yeah, that actually would work pretty well. Maybe move it more towards the shade here, or what's up here? It's not perfectly level, but I could do it here, I think. This actually would work. Up here on, we'll call it Glenn's Hill. But I like this. I actually, so far, like this. And it's so empty. I mean, this could be one of those where I am not gonna have many neighbors. We'll go be nosy and look and see if other people have tags on their thing. But look at the view down there in that valley where we came from too, off in the distance. So I guess I need to think this through and make some decisions about how best to set up my tent and where to do it. I mean, down here wouldn't be bad either. This is the most level spot, but I would have to move the picnic table. Looks like a heavy one, but I could probably get it done. Let me think about this and then I'll set up the tent and I'll show you what I did with the place. I have set up the tent and I changed my mind. I was gonna put it, you know, back there in the trees, but it's pretty hilly. It's not really nicely level. So I decided to just scooch the table over just a tad. I don't plan on making a fire tonight, to be honest. I don't even know, they might even have fire restrictions as far as I know, I don't know. But I just decided to put it here in this area. And a little tough to stake into, but I got it done. And the tent is secure. And I wanted to do it because this tree here seems to provide some shade here in the midday, the hotter parts of the day. And it's pretty amazing that today's drive went by the fastest in my mind of any drive I've had yet. It was a 4.5 hour drive from Teton, so we're almost 5 hours away from that, and not terribly far. I think, if I'm thinking of my geography correctly, I think The bottom of Idaho, where we're gonna cross over, sits on top of Utah, and I think we have to cross like the northeast corner of Utah to get into Nevada tomorrow. And then the eastern side of Nevada is where Great Basin National Park is, kind of in the middle of nothingness, near the loneliest road in America, if you're familiar with that. So I think south of that, but I expect a very isolated region, not many services based on my research. So starting to feel more and more like home. And look, there's cacti here, like some kind of prickly pear-like cactus, a sign that we're definitely closer to home. I haven't seen a cactus in weeks now. I mean, if you're familiar with my home state of Arizona and you know how we have different habitats, it's not all Sonoran Desert. There's lots of pinyon pine juniper forests as you kind of start to ascend before they turn into pine forests. So if you didn't know any better, you could trick yourself into thinking that you were in my state of Arizona, in Utah, Nevada. They all have scenery like this, and the mountains look brown and deserty from a distance. And another cool thing is the bathrooms here like exceed my expectations. I think either they're brand new or they freshly painted them, because it smelled like fresh paint. It had a new smell, like just exquisitely clean. The cleanest bathrooms on, I would say, my whole 2025 Camp View Northern Tour on the Cactus Atlas. This wins the cleanest bathroom award by far. Nothing compares. And so they have flushing toilets and they have showers. Well, being as though I think I've only seen one other group in here so far, I'm going to get cameras mounted and just knock out my Camp View drive-through. It should be a small, easy campground from what I can tell, and get that done. And then we'll pick up again at the visitor center, I guess, is where I'm heading to next, back out the way we came. Or I might just drive to the part that I think is the main Castle Rocks Park. It said Castle Rocks Ecology Center or something like that. I don't know, but I think it was the main park. Or maybe City, I don't know. I'm just so confused about the difference between City of Rocks and Castle Rocks. I think they're two distinct things, but we'll find out. So tune in next week where we head out and explore the park. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.